Okay, so what I have, oh, I forgot to highlight this part. You need to know, basically we're going to take what you did with parallel lines, and we're going to ask you to now use those relationships on coordinate planes. We're going to do coordinate geometry. This is what you did last year in Algebra 1. This is just your notes to recap. I'm going to be expecting you to fill in each box based on given information and being able to move from one to the other. So point slope form, that's when you are given a point and slope. You're going to plug in just into the form, and that's it. Just leave it in that form. If I ask you to go from point slope form to slope-intercept form right here, it tells you you need to distribute and then solve for y. Okay? Slope, this usually uses formula when you have 2 points given. So rise over run, that's if we have the graph given. Otherwise, we're doing y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is what we do to find the slope if given in standard form. Okay, so just highlighting the key information. Green is telling you what to do to get from one type of form to another. So slope-intercept form, again, you should be given the slope and the y-intercept. If they ask you to determine the x-intercept or the y-intercept, and I'm going to scroll this up, make sure you, for x-intercept, y equals 0, so you have to plug in 0 for y and then solve for x. For y-intercept, x equals 0, so you plug in 0 for x and solve for y. We are going to complete some problems using coordinate geometry, algebraic equations, writing the equations. I'm going to stamp this packet, and then I'm going to show you what your homework is. The second worksheet that you picked up. So linear equation Windowpane number 2. That is your homework tonight. Tomorrow you will have a homework quiz, homework check quiz, basically over the homework from Friday and the homework I'm giving you tonight. So I stamped it, I gave it back to you. You'll get to use your homework. The questions will come off the homework, or you'll have similar questions. It's going to be both. And odds are I'm going to ask the ones I didn't solve or put on the partial key. Okay, so does anyone still need the highlighted or key information? All right, we're going to do the guided practice or practice problems together. Here's how we're going to, because you're going to have to do some problem solving. You're going to get some word problems. So we're going to get in the habit of underlining the key information, circling the question or what you need to find. And I'm going to give you partial credit for that. We'll definitely do this on the district assessment. That will be part of a check. So on number 1, yeah, they want you to write equation of a line with a y-intercept of 5 and a slope of a -3, or slope of 3/4 put into standard form. So underline y-intercept of 5, slope of 3/4. That's the key information. That's the given information, which we're going to start with. We're going to circle, write the equation of a line in standard form. Okay. So we're going to fill in all our parts to get to this standard form. Take what we underlined, fill in to one of our boxes. So if I have the y-intercept of 5 and a slope of 3/4, m is going to equal 3/4. So I'm going to plug that in. Y-intercept is 5, so that is 0, 5. If you're given a point, you can put that point in your table. So I'm going to go ahead and also put in 0, 5. Our point should be coming from our graph or a given or from the equation. All right, so because I have the slope and the y-intercept, we should write out the slope-intercept form. That slope-intercept form was y equals mx plus b. So we're just going to plug in the parts and box our final equation. Y equals 3/4 x plus 5. That's just plugging it in to slope-intercept form. Okay? Now, point-slope form. Point-slope form, you need a point and a slope. Well, over here, the y-intercept is a point. We have the slope, so I can still use the same information to come up with the point-slope form. Point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. I just want you to plug it in and have it written in that form. That's it. Okay? So when I substitute the parts, if I'm using this is my point as my x1 and y1, then I would have y minus 5 equals 3/4, which is my slope, parentheses x minus 0. And that's point slope form. We're just writing it, plugging in the parts into the form. All right, parallel slopes have the same slope, so it's same perpendicular. We're looking at opposite reciprocals. That's when we flip change. So if I already know my m is 3/4, my slope, my parallel slope is the same. It's also 3/4. What do we write for the perpendicular? Yeah, -4/3. Okay. Yes.
So when we put the 0 and 5 on the table, could we do that?
Yes, we are going to do it on the graph too. So we're going to go 0, 5. Plot that point. I'm going to use my slope to add additional points to the graph. So since my slope is 3/4, from my y-intercept, I'm going to count up 3. 1, 2, 3 to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is that point going to be? 4, 8. So I can put that in the table. I need at least 3 points off my graph. Now, I can continue up 3 to the right 4, but that gets me off the graph. Does everyone understand that? So I can just now go in the other direction. So if I'm starting at my y-intercept, I'm going to now go down 3, 1, 2, 3, to the left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What point would that leave me at? 4, 2. And now I have my 3 points from my graph on my table. Okay. Now, standard form. To go to standard form, we need to go from our slope-intercept to standard form. Our steps to do that says first to get rid of the fraction, then get your x and y on the left side of the equal sign, and your constants on the other side of the equal sign, the number on the right side. So, how would I get rid of this fraction 3/4? Multiply it by 4, always by the denominator. Okay, so I'm just going to write that. I'm going to multiply my equation by 4. Everything by 4. Each term. Okay? So when I do that, that's going to give me 4y equals 3x plus 20. Now to get it in standard form, remember we have to get the x and the y on the left side, our number on the right side of the equal sign. So who needs to be moved at this time? Yeah, okay, so when I move it over to the left, it now becomes a -3x minus 4y equals 20. But in standard form, your leading coefficient, your leading term x cannot be negative. So what would I need to do now? Multiply. Yeah, multiply everything by -1. All right, so I'm going to... Yeah, I'm sorry, plus 4y. All right, so this would give me 3x minus 4y equals -20. And now it's in standard form. Because I multiply by the denominator, the number on the bottom. Yeah, whatever the number is on the bottom, that's what I multiply by. To get rid of the fraction. No, 4 times 3 is 12. Divided by 4 is 3. Yeah. Yes. Because the negative times a negative will make it a positive. And I want my leading coefficient, the x, to be a positive. If it's already a negative, I need to multiply by -1. Or divide by -1. Yes, you could do that too. Divide. All right, so let's look at number 2. Oops, I went the wrong way. All right, number 2. We're going to write the equation of a line with the x-intercept of 3 and a slope of 5. So what do we underline? What's the given key information? Yeah, x-intercept of 3, slope of 5. We're writing the equation of the line. That's what we have to do. I thought you went already. Okay, yeah. All right, so x-intercept of 3, slope of 5. What do we fill in? Slope. Okay, m equals 5. All right. X-intercept of 3. What do I do with that? In the table. So that would be 3, 0. Okay. So, taking my given. The given I have is a point and a slope. So from there, I need to start point slope form. Just plug it into our form. So I'm going to have y minus 0, because it's y minus y1, equals m, my slope, which is 5, parentheses x minus x1. So I have y minus 0 equals 5 parentheses x minus 3. All right. Now, from point slope, I can go ahead and do my parallel and perpendicular. Parallel have the same slope, so this would be 5. What would the perpendicular be? Negative 1/5. Negative 1/5. Flip change. Now, to go from point slope form, I picked the wrong one. To go here, from point slope form to slope intercept form, you're going to distribute and then solve for y. Distribute, then solve for y. So I'm going to distribute the 5. That would give me y minus 0 equals 5x minus 15. But we already know what y minus 0 is. So if we solve for y, it's just going to be y equals 5x minus 15. There is my slope-intercept form. And then I see my y-intercept. Because it's in slope-intercept form, my y-intercept is going to be 0, negative 15. There's another point. 0, negative 15. Okay. Now I can graph what I know. Okay. My x-intercept is 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. I know I can't get to a negative 15, but I can use my slope of 5 to get an additional point. That means from my x-intercept, I can go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to the right 1. And there's another point that would be on the graph from the equation. So what point would that be? 4 or 5. Okay. Ooh, my line is off. Stop again. All right, now last. Yeah.
Why don't you go to the right one?
Because a slope of 5 is the same as 5 over 1. Yeah. A little bit better. Now, standard form. That's the last thing we got to do. What am I going to have to do to go from slope-intercept form to standard form? Not yet. Yeah, move the 5x over first. So negative 5x plus y equals negative 15. Because we didn't have fractions on this one, so we just get the x and y to the left. Yeah, divide by negative 1. Divide everything by negative 1. My answer is 5x minus y equals positive 15. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, multiplying or dividing it by negative 1 is the same thing. Okay? All right, there's number 2. Okay? All right, 3. I want you to try 3. I'm gonna put up some key information. Yes, and then we're gonna see if we can fill in our blanks, our boxes. Yeah. Yeah, 0 for the x always. All right. So the key thing, and I'm just gonna see if y'all can take what's given. Same y-intercept as the equation, and they gave us the point for 3. So because we're wanting the same y-intercept, you need to figure out what that y-intercept is from the equation. That means that the x, every time we have a y-intercept, it's 0 and then b, the number. So if I want to find the y-intercept to this equation, that means x has to equal 0. I have to plug that in for x and then solve for y. So if basically anything times 0 is 0. So if x did not exist, what would the value of y be? 2. Yeah, positive 2. So we should have our y-intercept to be 0, 2. So now I have 2 points, guys. 0, 2. Okay? Yes. Yeah, you can change. Yeah, but that's not going to give me the equation because I want the equation to go through this point. Yeah. So, yes. Yeah. Yeah. So because we have 2 points here, to get the slope, yeah, you're going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, using our 2 points. So my y is basically, I'm doing 2 minus 3, 0 minus 4. And then I'm simplifying that. Okay, what does our slope end up being? 1/4? 1 over 4? Yes. Negative divided by negative is a positive. Negative 1 over negative 4. Yeah. All right. So we have our slope. We have our y-intercept. What can we fill in next? We can go, okay, parallel, perpendicular. All right. Parallel would be 1/4. Perpendicular? Negative 4. Okay. We have our slope, our y-intercept, and we have points in the table. So what do y'all want to do next? Point slope form. Okay, so I can use my point, 4, 3, and my slope. So that would give me y minus 3 equals 1/4 parentheses x minus 4. I just plugged in the point. You could use the other point, 0 and 2. That's fine. Just keep it in that form. So you get more than one answer. All right, I got slope-intercept form. Okay, what's our slope-intercept form going to be? Y equals 1/4 x, yes, plus 2. And we're done. Y equals 1/4 x plus 2. Now we got to get into standard form. Yeah, we can graph it because we have our 2 points. So we have 0, 2, and we have 4, 3. Oh, 4, 3. And we can put a line to those points. Standard form, though. Standard form. 4, oh, sorry, I forgot the x. 4x. Why do I keep writing 4y? X minus 4y equals negative 2.
Why is it 4y?
Why is it 4y? No. What do you have to do first to put it in standard form?
Put x to the higher point.
You have to. You have a fraction here. You multiply everything by 4. And I forgot, it should be minus 8. I didn't multiply my last one. So you multiply everything by 4. So that would give me 4y equals x plus 8. And then when I move my x over, it's negative, but I want it to be a positive. So x minus 4y equals negative 8. So basically, when I move this over, it's a negative x plus 4y equals 8, but we don't want it to be negative. You have to divide or multiply by negative 1. All right, so do we have this down? Okay, so here's what I'm going to stamp. I'm going to give you some time to make sure it's in there correctly and complete it. The packet goes in your spiral. The front page goes on a separate page, and the practice problems go on a separate page. Just get it on the next available page. Okay? You can cut it if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and show you your homework, which is right here, Windowpane's number 2. It goes with what we just did right now in class. I'm going to stamp that at least one window pane has been completed. You can pick which one you want from the front or the back, but one has to be completed before you leave today. Okay? The whole thing is homework. Yes. You'll have time to work on it in class. One must be done before you leave. Okay?